All
Nice.
right, so I think what we're gonna do is
Three,
I
2, 1.
here.
Awesome. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. We have 108 participants, which means that 108 of you love to support and differentiate with kiddos, especially our littlest learners, which is what we're going to be focusing on today. I'm Steph Quarantoto. I'm coming from you from the East Coast, right outside of Philly. And then my fabulous co-host, Christy Sanders. Say hello to everyone.
So I'm so excited to be here, and I am hailing from the West Coast. I've been all over the place, but yeah, I'm here in Seattle today.
And Christy's a former teacher as well, just so you guys know. She taught out on the West Coast for many, many years. And she and I are going to be kind of bebopping through. She's going to be sharing my slides. I'm going to be talking. We kind of, it's like when you have your favorite team, like your bestie, we kind of, that's how we're going to work together. But anyway, I'm Steph. I am an account manager right outside on the East Coast in Philly. Taught K-5 for a long time, used TCI, and I'm really excited to be with you today. Quick little housekeeping tools. In chat, we're going to be asking you to engage and share out. This is kind of like our collective time together to inspire and refresh each other. And then if you have a specific question, Christy is going to be manning the Q&A button, and then other TCI friends will be there as well. So just keep that in mind. And then just make sure when you say something that you're enabling everyone to be able to share and hear. All right, let's get going. Hi, Carolyn. Thank you. Yep. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at a really strong foundation for all learners. Can move on. I'll just give thumbs up. Things that we already know about students in any learning environment is that no two students are the same. When we look at our classroom, you think I have 25 students and they all learn differently and they all have different weaknesses and needs and strengths. And we really want to celebrate that. We don't want to think of it as like, oh my gosh, this is such a big, heavy lift. We want to be able to embrace all their learning styles. So when we think about differentiation, you guys are experts. You guys already know how to differentiate, but our goal is to create this classroom where every single student is successful and every kid has something that they need that helps them learn so that when they are out in the world, they're retaining the information that we so lovingly taught them. Okay, so this is kind of a fun activity. I absolutely love this. I want you to think about, go back when you were a little kid and think about the way that you learned difficult content, okay? In picture number one, think of something that was really hard for you. Did you learn best by images and videos? Or maybe when you were a kid in picture number two, you did best by playing through experiences, games, simulations, movement. Or maybe in picture number three, you did best by learning through repetition, practicing, repeating, kind of instilling that skill. Or maybe in picture four, I love this picture four. Maybe you learned best because you were that argumentative learner. You wanted to respond and share and kind of have those discussions, whole group. I know people are already answering. You guys already know what I'm asking you. Picture number five. Did you learn best through writing and note taking? And picture number six. Did you learn best through working in a group and solving problems? So tell us in chat the ways that you learn. And you can already see, like Christy, look at all these different learning styles that we already have here. So guess what? The same thing, yep, is the same thing for you in your classroom.
Yep.
In your classroom. Oh, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Were you going to say
No,
something,
go ahead.
Christy?
Yep. No, I agree. I love seeing somebody says all. I know if somebody ever called on me when I was a kid, that I would have been just mortified. So,
I know. I know. So, and this is important, right? So, Christy's going to take you to the next slide. When you think about the learners in your classroom, the first way the TCI builds that base is that we're going to give you all of these learning strategies built in naturally to each lesson. So, when you think about, okay, how am I going to get Johnny out of his seat and moving? And this student does really well with writing. We don't have to worry about that anymore because all of our lessons are built on these awesome instructional strategies so that as you're teaching, you're engaging all of your learners, and that's just one thing you don't have to worry about anymore. Okay, so today, when we think about our strategies for building a strong foundation, every learners, we look at all of our unique learners, and there are probably all types of these learners in your classroom every single year, at least 3 out of 4. They are our English language learners. They are our struggling readers and writers, students with special needs, and then always sometimes our forgotten enrichment students, so our students that need that extra push. So advanced learners. Those are our four categories we're going to be focusing on today. But guess what? All of the strategies and toolboxes we're going to share could probably lend each other to every single group of learners. But first, I would love to ask you guys to pretend with me that you are first grade students. We are going to do a quick lesson because our goal is to show you how one lesson can totally meet all of the needs of your students. So imagine with me, if you will, that you are sitting in first grade, crisscross applesauce, and you are next to your partner. And you are going to be sharing a crayon like so. And I want both of you thinking, you're not allowed to talk to your partner. Think of a picture that you want to draw. So both of you are holding the same crayon. Both of you are not talking to each other. And you're thinking about the beautiful picture. And now, for 2 minutes, you and your partner are going to draw. Okay. I love that Crystal's like, yeah, I've done this lesson. It is hilarious. So, can you imagine in your classroom right now what your students are feeling? You can type into chat. Tell us what you think they're feeling as they are going through and doing this lesson. What are some responses? They're probably frustrated and they're probably like, no one's listening to me. I can't talk and I can't cooperate. Next slide, please. Yes, they're confused, they're worried, they're frustrated, they're experiencing all these feelings in the simulation. Perfect. That is exactly what they are thinking. And that is our goal, by the way. We're not doing that just to be mean. That is our purpose.
So then the second time we play it,
Yes, the second time we play it, we're going to change things. So the next time, oh, we're on the slide already. That's why, Christy. She's like, Steph, we're already here. Um, when you play it again, we're going to change the rules, make it a little bit more friendly for your learners. They are going to be able to talk the next time, which I think is actually the next slide, Christy.
there we go.
There we go. They are going to be able to talk to each other and they are going to be able to draw and collaborate and communicate with each other about the picture that they're going to draw. So tell me about how you think they probably felt the next time they did this activity. They could talk to each other, they could share. They're confident. Very good, Caitlin. Yeah, absolutely. Next slide. Great. So now what we're going to do is we're going to encourage our students to talk and reflect about the activity that we just did with them. We want them to draw. How did you feel the first time when you were with your partner and you were both trying to draw your picture? And they're going to say, they're going to draw probably an angry face or a frustrated face. And then the picture below, the next one, is going to there's a picture underneath that. And they would also draw, how did you feel afterwards, right? So, how did you feel? I felt happy. I was communicating. It was a good experience for me the second go around. And that is perfect. So, what I want you thinking about now is think about the learners, those four groups of learners that we just talked about, our ELL students, our English as a second language, our students that need enrichment, our students that have special needs, our struggling readers and writers. How did this lesson support all of those different unique learning styles just by doing that really short activity? So I'm going to ask you to, in chat, how did this lesson support students who learn differently? And then which group of learners does this lesson support and why?
And I just want to also point out that so one of the cool things that happens in between both experiences is that when you ask your kids what, how did that make you feel? They're going to tell you, like, I wanted to have my own crayon. I wanted to have my own picture. I didn't want to share anything. I didn't get to talk to my neighbor. So all of the students are going to start using words that they know and that they're familiar with. And
Mhm.
then when you do it a second time, those similar reactions are going to end up happening because what's really cool is the students, and you might have some broken crayons. So they might say, I was frustrated. But then what ends up happening is second time you say, now that you got to talk to your partner, how did that feel? And what's going to end up happening is that there are also going to bring forward those same thoughts and feelings. Like I got to talk, I got to share, I got to, they're probably not going to use the word cooperate in first grade, quite frankly. I've not
Not
yet seen
yet.
that, but they get to talk about all of the different things that they're feeling. And then what's going to happen? And so I see a whole bunch of really great.
I know. There's such good, you guys are adding really great feedback. Janine said it participates increases communication. It levels the playing field, gives everyone an opportunity to participate. My favorite one, I think, was it lowered the affective filter for our multi-language students. That is awesome. Yeah, absolutely. So right out the gate, TCI is giving them this activity that they can totally relate to, and it's giving us an opportunity to level that playing field. Perfect.
And the one thing that didn't happen, nobody said this, but, and I do love that everybody's saying everybody can participate.
Yeah.
We didn't start the lesson with reading. So we started the lesson with an activity. And so all of the people who are talking about leveling the playing field, that's a huge piece of it.
Absolutely. And you always and you know, you have those students that the second you start talking about social studies, they equate that with reading. And if they're a struggling reader and writer, they're like, I'm checked out. I can't do that. So if you give them this game, you give them these activities, every kid is already ready to participate and it gives them that basis for context. So yeah, you can see here it gives all the reasons you guys said in chat is exactly what we were going to say. So we're going to just keep it moving. Okay, so that kind of lends itself to a really nice segue of how we can talk about vocabulary and how TCI uses vocabulary to support instruction. And what I want you to see, you probably maybe have seen Scarborough's reading rope. And we know that for students to learn to read and to decode and to comprehend, there's two different parts. There's the language comprehension piece and the word recognition piece. So what we want to focus on first is accessing background knowledge through content. So we have naturally built into all of TCI's lessons the ability to have vocabulary explicitly taught and within context, or you can choose without. We give you a bunch of different flexibility how to do that. So you're going to see in here, this is our second and third edition program. So no matter what program you're in, there's something for everyone, but there's abilities for students to be drawing and being able to create. There are students connecting with vocabulary on their whiteboards. That's a really great way, especially when if you are a virtual for a flexible instruction day. There are in our interactive student notebooks in our second edition, there's going to be opportunities for students to color and circle and create and be able to show vocabulary in pictures. And then finally, we have that really robust digital portion where students can drag and drop images and the kind of like the theme of it is visuals, different opportunities for students to learn. So when you think about incorporating these strategies in your classroom, and again, K-5 teachers, we wear a million different hats. Here are some suggestions of ways that you can incorporate vocabulary into your instruction, not just social studies, but also if you want to do that within ELA. Word walls. I am still a firm believer in them. I had one for every subject area. You can have students create these. You can put them on the smart board. You can put them on an anchor, and you can use this as you're instructing throughout your day and keep using these words so that they're seeing them and they're connecting. We have, and we'll show you in a little bit, ways that you can print vocabulary cards out and you can have them play games. My daughter still plays these games because she uses TCI and she absolutely loves them. They match their capitals and their states together. So this is a really great opportunity for that. They have three in the row, meaning matches, all different types of strategies that you can use. And then this is kind of what I was sharing with you. We have other opportunities for vocabulary. You can see those cards that I was talking about, but we also have a whole toolkit that is going to be broken up K to 12 where you can go in and you can grab anchor charts, you can grab organizers, all the extra goodies for you. Okay, so this was really short and sweet, but you can either share one vocabulary strategy that you saw that was in our slides, or maybe one that you have that you would love to suggest so that we can kind of borrow each other's toolkits. What's something that you saw that maybe you want to try, or maybe you have an idea that you've already been using with TCI that you would like to share out? If you can go ahead and put that in chat before we move on into our next part. Oh, charades. That would be hilarious. I would absolutely love that. Yes, three in a row. Good. Meaning matches. Perfect. Yeah, these are all really great ideas. And again, you don't have to do them just in social studies. You can pull these into ELA so you can get more bang for your buck. Because, we're K-5 teachers. We get like a whole 30 minutes sometimes to teach social studies. So we got to be creative. I love the word wall. I agree, Angelique. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, we're gonna move on because I want to get to the struggling readers and writers. So one thing I didn't share, I don't think I did. I taught fourth grade for a very long time. And what that means for our upper elementary teachers is when you're looking at this staircase of literacy, A lot of times we get kids all over grade levels with their reading and writing proficiency. So we want to give you tools that are going to meet every single student's needs. And right back to Scarborough's rope, we're going to move on to word recognition. We want to talk about how do we support phonological awareness, decoding, sight recognition? How do we support struggling readers and writers within TCI? Let's look and see. The very first thing is all of the wonderful quick tools that we have. And again, these are designed to meet our students where they're at, but they're also going to take a big lift off of you as well. You know, maybe you didn't know, you can change the Lexile levels. You can have them on reading level A, reading level B. Okay, so that would be grades 2 through 6. We have text to speech, so students can have it read out loud. They can track it. You can put them in a reading center, right? There's narration. You can have him listening to it as a person. The person will go on and narrate the text for you. You can pull main ideas out of the text in blue, and I'm hoping that this picture will show you that in a quick second. And then you can also highlight, so you can pull things out and highlight. So let's take, I know the translation tool, Jasmine, I agree. So these are just some of the ideas I actually did use in my classroom. You probably already are using them, but I thought I'd bring them back because the oldies are the goodies. You have listening centers. Again, have them get their headphones on, sit down, listen to the text a few times, and they can experience it that way. That's going to support our struggling readers and writers. The whisper phone. They love a whisper phone. Even in 4th and 5th grade, don't let them fool you. They still love a whisper phone. They can read the text to them. They could do it digitally. They can do it if they have that print book in front of them. Sometimes I used highlighting tape and put it in the text, and they would track and read with their whisper phone. El Conan boxes, when we talk about decoding, we talk about breaking up those multisyllabic words. Get an El Conan box out. Pick some of those vocabulary words out. Pick some of those words that you're focusing on and work on that with them. And then they also have graphic organizers, again, where you can work on parts of the word. So those are some great ideas to support students. And then within writing, so that was our quick ELA. How do we support struggling readers and writers? Let's move on to writing. More times than none, if they don't like to read, they certainly don't like to write, right? There's like a little bit of that relationship there. So we know that. And we have, again, opportunities for your students to feel comfortable writing, whether it be pen and paper or whether it being digitally. So a couple of things first. We're going to give you graphic organizers for writing. Yes, writing tools. So you could actually be teaching writing instruction with these tools that we will show you. And then digitally, they have opportunities to write and draw as well to express themselves. More times, the students that didn't like to write with pen and paper were really successful digitally. So you have, either or. But some suggestions, you can use this to write, to chunk and write. You can organize your thoughts verbally or on the graphic organizer. And what I also used, do you guys, sometimes we have students that need to have those checklists right on their desks. So I would shrink some of these organizers and then laminate them and boop, plop it right on their desks for them to be able to use. And that would be more of a 504 accommodation, IEP accommodation. Okay, I'm going really fast, so I'm going to take a pause really quickly. Do we have any questions in our Q&A, Christy? How are we doing with that?
No, just I've answered the one that was already there.
Oh, okay, perfect.
But somebody's asking in chat about where you can share to find the organizers.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, so I don't have my license pulled up, but you can find them in the support tab. So
Mhm.
if you're in your license up in the upper right-hand side, you can pull those up and it's under a whole bunch of tabs. Actually, when we go live, I can pull them up for you.
Right. That's what I was about to say. I was going to say at the very end, and I know you want to see it right away, and I agree. I have a little note here of all the little places we're going to pop into so you can find all of that. Okay, people are already on the next slide, so we're going to keep it moving. All all the different ways. So one thing that's unique is Christy and I, we work with districts all across the country, and every district uses a different word to explain and to describe their second language learners. So here on the East Coast, I always said ELL learners, but I've heard other different phrases. So tell me, drop in chat, what is a term that you use in your school or in your region for your English as a second languagers? Okay, a lot of MLL, ELL. I think those are the most popular ones. What do you think, Christy?
Yeah, I mean, ML is the bigger, like newer one out on the West Coast that I hear a
Yeah.
lot. ELL, ESL. Yep, this is
Okay, cool.
consistent with what we hear.
Well, I mean, and it's okay. Sometimes I'll be like, "Can you tell me what that means?" And they'll be like, "It's as English as a second language." Good. I also used L1 and L2. Did anyone ever say L1 and L2? That was something I always said. I guess I got that from when I was in school, but okay. Well, thank you for dropping that in. We're going to move in and talk about how do we support our students that are coming in. They're speaking a different language at home, and now they're immersed in English in the classroom. That can be overwhelming. And I found this quote, and it 100% spoke to me. The limits of my language means the limits to my world. And in one sense, it's like inspirational because I want to be able to provide our students with that ability to follow along. But then it's also like, oh, they really struggle. It's not that they can't comprehend, it's just, it's a different language and it's struggle. They're struggling. So we have supports and tools for you. First thing, at the bottom of your left-hand side in your screen, you can translate everything into Spanish. It's authentically translated. That means the text can be translated, the audio, the videos. So we already have that tool built in for you. We have a brand new translation tool, which is super exciting, where you can go in and you can highlight text and you can translate to different languages, which is going to be so supportive for students. They're going to be so excited when they see that. Again, you can also differentiate the reading levels. They can pull the main ideas just to read the chunks. The main ideas is really great because they'll be reading it and it'll just be a couple sentences so they get the meat and potatoes of what they're learning, the main idea and the standards. Highlights and captions, which is important too. You can put captions on when you're watching videos, and also when you're listening so that they can kind of follow along as that way as well. And then here are some more actionable ideas that you can use. The key, and I was speaking to a good friend of mine who works with ELL learners every single day, and she was like, Steph, the key is visuals, visuals, visuals. Anything that they can see, they can do, getting them immersed. And you probably already know this. But being able to put up on the smartboard a picture when you're doing a lesson. So you can be like, we are, here's what we're doing. Here's a picture to support that. Again, with the graphic organizers, I'm telling you, we have so many graphic organizers, but being able to give them this and asking them, hey, put this vocabulary word or this term in your language first, and now let's look at it in English. So being able to go back and forth between different languages,
And
and then
Steph, before you
yeah,
go on to the act it
yes,
out, so
yep,
so the one question that somebody did ask in Q&A previously was
mhm.
about images with vocabulary cards.
Oh
And
yeah,
so we will show you live where you can pull the vocabulary cards, but you can also K1 to automatically have images as part of the vocabulary cards, but
yeah,
anyone can add any additional vocabulary, anyone can add any additional images, and it does allow you to print those out. So
yeah,
and then just to answer another question in chat, so are these separate from the workbooks? So we have the picture on the left is actually directly from the in for our California folks, it's directly from your textbook. In for anyone who's national, that would be in your journal. And then the picture on the right, the vocabulary development toolkit, that is in those toolkits that can be found in the support part of your lesson.
yes, perfect. Thank you for clarifying that too, because I was about to stop and say Nicole had a really great question. Oh, and then the last thing too, and somebody had already said this, they were talking when we were doing the first activity together about the charades with vocab. Yes, again, act it out. Let kids get out of their seats and do some movement and simulate that vocabulary word so that it sticks with them and then they can retain it. So great suggestion. Oh yeah, these are the cards we were referencing. So in your TCI license, there's a on the left-hand side in your purple nav bar, and we'll show you where that is as well. But there is a vocabulary button where you can go in and you can upload your own pictures of vocab cards. You can change them from English to Spanish. You can even modify the cards if there's different languages where you can print them out in their first language and then you can use English as a second. So there's a lot of creativity with how you can modify what's in TCI so that it can meet their needs. And one tool I think is incredible is the assessments. When you think about ELL learners, we know that they know so much. They are intelligent, wonderful beings. They just can't communicate with us as well as they would like to. So we want to make sure that we have customizable assessments that's going to be able to assess them in a way that is represented best for them. So they can draw pictures. You can do these assessments in their own language. You can create your own type of questions and put it in your own wording so it sounds a little more natural. So being able to customize assessments is going to be critical for them. But then again, like all learners, right? So that's why the umbrella is so big with all of these four groups of students. Okay, this is, I'm not gonna lie, this might be my favorite section. How many of you in your K-5 classrooms, okay, I'm gonna save that part for the next one, but tell me, what do all these three pictures have in common? This is more of like when I think back on my virtual days, these three pictures were very important. Brain breaks. Caitlin's like, oh yeah, we love Jack Hartman. Jack Hartman saved me during COVID when I taught kindergarten. He was there to support me. So we took all these really awesome ideas, brain breaks, and I want you to think about this, what they all have in common, what kind of students that we have. So we'll go to the next slide because they are our wiggly learners. We have them. And honestly, I'm still kind of a wiggly learner myself. But our students that need to have those breaks, I would easily have 10 or so students that need to get up and move around and maybe just pace back and forth. So one of the things TCI does to support our wiggly learners is getting them out of their seats, whether it be a lesson immersion, and whether it be a song, we're going to support them. Yeah, I don't know, Christy, is that video working there so you can see? We're just gonna, it's just another little fun lesson with our students playing with their puppets. But yep, those are our wiggly learners. We're gonna move on. So these are our bops. Christy and I had a hard time picking a great song because we love them all. If you are looking for a brain break, if you're like, you know what, I need my students out of their seats, guess what? We've got you. We have these songs littered all throughout our K-5 programs. You can get out of your seats with your students, take a quick break, and we're going to take a brain break right now. So feel free to get up and stretch. We can't even see you. You can see me, so I won't do it. Christy's probably dancing, but
go hand in hand. They always
And just as a side note
change.
on these
I
two,
can
like what you're going to notice is
understand
that it's
when
not only a
supply is
song,
high
but
and
in the
demand is
directions, and it
low.
doesn't show it here.
The price will
It has students
go.
actually like stand
Down,
up,
down
point
it
to this thing, or if
goes.
it's talking about
Down,
sound,
down it
you want them to point
goes.
down.
When supply is high
So
and
it's building in
demand
all
is
of that support for our
low.
students who are
The
standing up
price
like
goes
that.
down, down, down,
Christy, can you
down
lower
it
the sound just a little
Yeah,
bit so we could
goes.
hear you a little bit
When
better?
supply is high
is
and
that better?
demand is
Yeah, that's better.
low, the price
Yeah,
Um,
goes
so I mean,
down,
so the
down,
idea
down,
here is
down it
that like kids are going to be pointing up
goes.
or pointing down. They're
When supply
spinning,
is
moving around because
high
we're never going to
and
stop doing
demand is
the rest of the day.
low, the
oh,
price
we
goes
lost you again, Chris.
down.
I'll let you talk.
I was gonna say, maybe we'll just, you guys get the idea. So yeah, so we're reinforcing all the other skills we just talked about with vocabulary. The vocab is playing on the board. They're singing about the concepts. They just did the simulation. So again, it's not just for our Wiggly learners, it's for all of them. They're all gonna benefit. But truly, it's nice to take a quick little break and be able to listen to these songs. Word of caution, Christy and I say this all the time. It is an earwig. It will be stuck in your ear all day. You're going to be driving home through traffic singing about supply and demand. But guess what? If you're remembering it, so are your students. And that is the goal. We want them to retain, we want them to be successful. So, those are just another couple ways that we support those wiggly learners. But of course, if you have all used TCI, you probably can think of a specific lesson or two where your students are out of their seats learning. Mine was always the assembly line. It met all of my students' needs, but here are just some real pictures of students across our country that are engaging in out of their seat learning. And again, another awesome quote by good old Ben Franklin, tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I learn. And that is the core of who we are at TCI, is getting students to remember by learning, experiencing, and doing, which is another differentiation strategy. Awesome. So as we had mentioned before, we have like the separate toolboxes of resources that aren't necessarily in the text that they're using, and they're PDFs, and we'll show you. But we have something called access points. And our Wiggly learners, and all learners really, just kind of need those chunked little lessons in isolation. So what we have is PDFs of every lesson that are going to do that. It's going to drop it down to a lower level for them, and it's just going to be a really short and sweet target or differentiated learning support piece for them. So again, they access their chunked access points, they shorten the lesson, and then you can print them out and you can give them to your students or work with them in small group. And we talked a little bit about the differentiation toolkits, but they're going to include all the learners that you see here, and we're going to have time to jump into that. So we have about like 12 more minutes, so we're doing good on time. So let's go ahead and see the next piece. So our final group of learners are our students that need enrichment and they need those opportunities to dive deeper. And even though sometimes we struggle or we feel a little overwhelmed of how to support them in TCI, we're still going to give them the support that they need so that they can quench their thirst of learning because you know that they absolutely love that. The first thing is in all of our programs, there are opportunities after you teach the lesson to go deeper. So you can kind of see here on your screen the dive deeper picture, explore. There's primary sources, there's extra literature. You can assign them to students, especially those early finishers. So they can, as soon as they're finished doing the lesson with you or the activity with you, you can assign them an extra resource to go dig deeper. Yes, Cassandra, we are going to go right there in a few minutes to look and see those extra PDFs to support that. Another thing that you can do for those students to support enrichment is that at every unit level, there are projects. They're not prescriptive, you don't have to do them, but if you want to really pull in those extra themes and support enrichment, I would do inquiry projects at every level. And then we also have a really awesome floating library where there are tons of resources that you can pull out. You can create your own assignment or you can give them to students to complete as well. All right, Christy, this is the moment every teacher on here has been asking us about is where can I find all of my things? So I am going to show you. Let me share my screen. All right, so we are in our TCI subscription. You can see here. And what I want to show you, this is my purple nav bar. The very first part we're going to stop at is the support tab. I'm going to try to go down in order so you can remember top up and going down. Oh, copy of the presentation. This is going to be on YouTube. Am I correct with that, Christy? So you
Yep.
guys will be able to rewatch this as many times as your heart desires.
Yep.
So, support tabs. When we go into support, you're going to see all these little tiles are going to come up in here. For reading and ELD support, all you do is click in and you're going to see those 3 different topics. So reading, writing, vocab, even speaking and listening, which is one that we kind of touched on, but not specifically. All of them are going to live here. So all you have to do is click into a tab and there's the toolkit. There are so many great ideas. So even if you're not using TCI that moment, you can still use our graphic organizers, which are going to be helpful. You're also going to see the vocabulary toolkit. Again, strategies, they're going to be in here as well. You click in, we're going to give you all these extra tools here, and they are going to be found in your support tab. But guess what? There are other things as well. There's our differentiation and accessibility. So again, more opportunities to share with you some ideas that these are all, we pulled a lot of these ideas into our slide deck. So check it out for you as well. But let's get into our lesson the overview real quickly, because this is what you probably have already seen this, but for enrichment, if you want to go into the unit inquiry projects, this is a really great place. If you want to enrich our students and go a little bit deeper with them, we have libraries here as well. So I wanted to make sure I did this in order so you can kind of remember to get to it.
And Steph, just
Yeah.
really quickly. So
Yep.
that our for our California teachers, our unit overview projects is slightly different.
Uh-huh.
So you are going to have questions that live in those unit projects that align with the California framework. And so those unit projects are going to be a little bit different than the national programs. So they won't see exactly inquiry projects, but they are going to see beginning overviews for every
Mhm.
single unit that have lesson or questions that are like pulled directly from the framework. So just a
Yeah.
side on second edition versus third.
Perfect. Thank you, Christy, for clarifying that. Okay, so when we get into our lesson overview, we want to talk a little bit more. How can we get resources to support our students? This is your like your teacher guide, your visual for being able to go in and plan. And we have those access points for differentiation. So when you're talking about chunking those lessons, again, it's a PDF. It's going to be built right in for you to find. You also have it in Spanish too. So English and Spanish version, which is really great.
And Steph,
Yeah,
just quickly, those are not currently available for second edition, but it's
correct.
not that we're not going to put them in there, just not there yet.
That is true. And thank you for reminding me that with second edition. But second edition, if you go into your support tab, you'll have those resources available to you as well.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, so third edition friends, then you guys would be able to get into your differentiation instruction toolkit. So again, these are just extras. If you are thinking about how do I support my students with fluency, we're going to do a center. We're just going to give you some suggestions here, which are really great. Everything will be found here. Let's talk about our enrichment students again, enhancing learning. This is a tool that I would probably use for my students that wanted a little bit more or craving a little bit more depth. I might find a book in the library and take it out. I might suggest a website. They have different websites and resources here that, again, you can give to your students when they're finished something, those early finishers, or you could even choose to do it whole group. And all of your students would benefit and maybe give them a different extension of how they can show what they're learning, like a different assessment measure. We're going to move on down here to the vocabulary cards because I know that some people were asking. These are TCI cards. You can see that their cards are here. They can listen, they can
Play
have it read out
fairly.
loud.
Play
And then you can
fairly.
also go ahead and you can modify them and you can create pictures. So if I was in the card, what I would do is I would make my own edits in here like so. I think my computer is just thinking for a second. All right. I'm not sure why it's not working right now, but if you were to click into this, you can edit your vocab slide deck, which is what I did in our slide deck. And then I add images. I can translate or use it in Spanish as well. So that's something that's really cool. Any questions while I'm kind of live into the account of any resources that may, oh, here it is. As you can see, we can change how we want to maybe write the definitions, maybe add our own images and things like that. So awesome. And you can print them. These are such a cool tool. These are, I think, really like underrated. Don't you agree, Christy?
Oh yeah, completely.
These
And
are awesome. Go
yeah,
ahead.
and I would also just say that like people, just as you mentioned, you add your own vocabulary, or if there's quite, if there's stuff that you wanted to focus on, it allows you to really customize it for your class. Because when you do print them, they actually are printed front to back, and all of the images and any other things that you put on them will show up.
Hmm.
So somebody is asking if you can show where to find the access points, and I just want to just reiterate that right now, those are for our national programs. They're not yet for our California programs, but you can find them under differentiation.
Yeah, so this would be for our third edition. So if you're using the flexible journal, if you're using that, then that's where you can find this resource. It would be the differentiation instruction. This is your teacher planning box, and that will be right here. And like Christy said, I think that they're looking at that for second edition. For third edition right now, this is where you can find this tool. But again, second edition, you have that support tab and you have more than enough resources in there as well to start trying to be able to use with all those different types of learners. Anyone else have anything that they want to see before we kind of move on to our final slides? And if we are good, Christy, I'll probably just stop sharing and you can go ahead and back and share your screen.
Yep, I can do that.
Perfect.
All right, give me 1 second.
Teamwork is the dream work.
Oh, and I just lost all my Zoom tools, so
It's okay.
give me a second. Oh, sorry, you guys.
This is true co-teaching, guys.
This is co-teaching.
It is co-teaching. See, what happened was my Google Slides were acting up. So my co-teacher, Christy, was like, "Yeah, I got you, Steph."
I will take care of it. All right, here we are.
All right, so we're going to wrap this up. We've got a few more minutes here. I really want you to think about these questions because teachers wear a trillion different hats, but specifically K-5 teachers, because we are teaching multiple content. We're teaching every 30 minutes, we're doing something different. So I want you to answer. You can do this in chat, you could do this in your head, doesn't matter. True or false? Number one, teachers wear hundreds of hats. Yeah, thousands probably. Two, teachers received. We receive unlimited support. Number two. Yeah, we do not. I think they try, but they do not. Number three, it's easy to find research-based, ready-to-use resources. For number three, what do you think? Three is false. I bet a million of you are probably thinking, oh, I use teacher pay teacher all the time to find my resources, right? Four, true or false, TCI's mission is rooted in meeting the needs of teachers in their students. True. So the takeaway from this is you have wonderful little learners in your classroom every single day that are going to give you a variety of different needs that you're going to accommodate. Our goal at TCI is to give you resources that are ready to use, that are going to engage your learners, that are going to be easy for you, that gives you back time in your classroom so that you as a teacher feel successful and you feel supported. That is our goal. And kind of just like I had said before, TCI provides this really important scaffold for every student to be successful. I absolutely love this first picture because our goal is to give every student what they need so that they're all in the same leveled playing field. So they walk into your classroom and they know Miss Q's got me. She's going to give me what I need. She's going to help increase my confidence. She's going to make sure that my learning style is represented, and TCI is equally as passionate about that as well. So please do us a quick favor. If you could share in our invisible toolbox in chat one strategy or one differentiation tool that you want to try next year, or maybe you have one that you want to share out that's been working really well in our classroom. This is our time to kind of recharge, get some new tools in our toolbox so that in the fall we feel ready to go. Oh, yeah, the translation tool was awesome. Vocabulary cards. Yeah, those ones, I'm telling you, those are awesome. They're
Yeah,
so fun
you
to
know what's
use.
fun stuff is that we actually have teachers that are starting in like 2 weeks. So the fall,
Oh,
like
wow.
earlier and earlier, depending on where you are.
I just didn't want to, I didn't want to bring that up to them, Chris. I was trying to be tiptoe around the fact that some people have less time than others. I want to equal the playing field of when we go back to school. But yeah, the Fryer cards, absolutely. Shrinking graphic, organize and laminating them. I'm telling you, that is such a really great tool because then they have it there and they can use that. It's so helpful. And anything really you could shrink and laminate and put on their desks there. Enrichment is great too, a really great tool. Awesome. This is making me excited. I feel like I'm ready to go now and teach. Can I come to one of your classrooms and help you try this out? I'm getting FOMO. Awesome. Okay, so let's move on to our final couple things. We have only a few minutes left before you guys are going to get ready to move into your third session. So just a couple reminders here. There is built-in PD for you. So if you need some refreshers, please, at the top of your purple nav bar, you're going to see professional development. Click in that. You can bebop around and take some great courses. Please feel free to stay updated with TCI. We send emails out and give you all the new tools that are coming out. Join our Facebook groups, all of our other social media groups. We want to hear from you. You guys make us so excited. We meet weekly and are always sharing out the things that you give to us. So please don't think that they fall on deaf ears. We are listening to you. Please feel free to engage with us. So tell us in this session, how are you feeling, right? I know that we use this visual with our little learners, but how do you feel walking away now? Which picture do you identify? Lots of ones, some fours, like, Christy and I were like, we don't really know what four means. We think it means I'm curious. I want to know more. I see some happies. Hopefully we don't see any fives in here. But if you do, your feeling is valid. It can be overwhelming sometimes to learn new things. Awesome. Lots of happy faces, lots of excitement. We love that. Good. Oh, I love that, Monica. Yeah, Monica's saying, I want to do a better job helping my ELLs, and you will. We know that you guys are passionate about differentiating. Oh, final thing. Yep. See, I'm still talking. And now we have one more thing. So, a couple fun things. You can go ahead and tag into Instagram, TCI Summit 25. You have an opportunity to win gift cards. There's a cute little llama. This guy is taken off. He's everywhere. So, please feel free to engage in that fun little moment with us. And then
Yeah. So
Is that
this,
it? Oh, there he
oh
is.
my gosh, I wanted to bring him in just so you guys could see him. Super cute. And I will tell you that these things are rare, but we are giving one of these away. So if you are able to share a fun moment for the summit, tag TCI, use the hashtag, maybe he could be yours. It's pretty
And
exciting.
you could use them in your classroom, and he could just be your new best friend, your new TCI best friend. These are awesome. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback. Okay, well, our time here with you sadly is coming to an end. So, all 126 of you that joined us today, we are so excited for you. We are sending the best positive vibes into your classroom. Your kids are lucky to have you because you care very deeply about meeting their learning needs. So, we support you. We're here anytime you need anything, but you guys have to go on to the next session. So, pick one that looks exciting to you, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your time with the summit. We will see you in the next session, I'm sure, somewhere. So have a fantastic rest of your summer and rest of your day. We'll see you soon.
Yep, we're so excited and I hope you guys all have a wonderful start to your school year. I know that we are looking forward there's many districts that I actually saw in here that we might be visiting in person.
We
So,
will be.
so
We call it, Christy and I call it East Coast tours and
yeah,
West Coast
it's so
tours.
fun. So
So
thank you all for being here with us today. And so what you'll end up doing, I think we actually have a slide for, yeah, how to join the next session. So what you're going to do is you can either leave this webinar and go back to the lobby. So the lobby should be on like one of your web browsers, and then you'll be able to see that whole menu of options to choose from. And then from there, we also, oh, I did not put that link in chat, but we can put that link. Steph, can you put that link in chat?
yeah,
And
sure.
then that way you will be able to just click the link and leave. But thank you so much, and we hope you guys have a great start to your school year.
Yes, thank you guys so much. I'm just getting our chat up.